Good morning. This is a video on my daily meal. I started eating this meal about 3.5 years ago when my teacher who developed this meal, who's a very advanced yogi, his name is Michael Beloved, taught me how to make it. So it is very easily digestible. It is very nutritious. It is very satisfying, and it is very sustaining throughout the day. So the ingredients are right here. We're going to start with cooking the carrots. We start from what grows underground, and we kind of layer what we're going to cook all the way up to the vegetables that grow above the ground and the kind of delicate leafy greens which go on top. So only 2 spices will be used, so-called spices: salt and turmeric, and not very much of either one. Carrots go in first. Then this is a mixture of Idaho potatoes and sweet potatoes. All of these ingredients are organic. Then we will put the green beans in. They're a little bit tougher. They take a little bit longer to cook, so we get them in pretty soon. And then the broccoli will go in. You can choose what vegetables you use, but we just kind of use them in this general order. This is Dandelion Leafs. These are kind of tough and somewhat bitter. They need to be cooked for a while, so they go in, towards the beginning, and they're boiled down for a long time, and then you don't even notice that they're there, but you're still getting the full nutrients. These are little cherry tomatoes. These are strawberries to have after the meal. Actually, they should be over here. And then last, what's going to go up on top of what we're cooking is the chard. And I will actually be taking those leaves off and cutting these stems, and they will go in with the broccoli. Okay, so this is a really easy, quite quick meal to make. I'm going to show you here my stove, where I have my pan and I have my tea kettle with hot water. This is going to be ready because I'm going to use that hot water when I'm cooking. This is my little pan. This is about how much coconut oil I have in my pan. I would say that that is about, maybe like a tablespoon and a half. I don't usually measure things, so I just kind of eyeball it. So this is what we're going to cook in. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on and get my camera set up so you can watch me cook this meal. Okay, so our oil is already hot. And we will first put the carrots in. We're going to let them cook in that coconut oil. We're going to add a little bit of salt. Now watch what I mean by a little. You see? It's a little. We do not use, as a yogic meal, we call this Kundalini cooking, or at least I call this Kundalini cooking. I have actually taught this cooking class as a workshop at my church multiple times, and there's a reason that we eat like this, and there's a reason that we eat this meal early. This is a main meal that is eaten early in the day. So what we recommend for your yoga practice is that you get up about 3:30 or 4 in the morning and you practice. You do your exercises and your aggressive breathing. You purify your psyche, and then you sit for meditation for however long you can do it. After your meditation, you're probably going to get a little more sleep. Then you're going to get up, maybe whatever time you get up, 6, 7, 8, 9, and you're going to cook your meal, this meal. And you're going to eat it early, and it's going to sustain you through your day. Now, this is when the water goes in. So I'm going to take my very hot water. It's going to make some noise. I put quite a little bit in. That was probably half a cup. And now I will put my potatoes in. Now this amount that I'm cooking this morning would be enough for 2 people. Now we're going to use our turmeric. We're also not going to use too much turmeric, so I'll show you how much I mean. Avoid that steam. I don't know if you can even see this. Okay, we'll do that again. So I've got about that much turmeric, slightly more. As you can see, I am not like that graceful in the kitchen. I am not a cook. I don't like to cook. I do like to cook this meal. So I've got it down and it's easy. And I enjoy cooking it because I know how much I'm going to enjoy eating it and how satisfying it is for me. I could have been eating this meal for all of my life. So I want to get as much water in there as I need, not too much, not too little, so that these potatoes can boil and the carrots, okay? So we will put a lid on this and I will talk to you a little bit more as that starts to cook. It's going to start to cook pretty hard. We've got the temp up pretty high. I'm also going to show you really quick how I cut up these dandelion leaves so that they can be user friendly, so that people will actually buy them and use them in their food. I just kind of line up the ends. First of all, I like to cut the ends off of things. I have a little compost bucket right here, my little red compost bucket. So all of my scraps go in there. I have kitchen scissors that I only use in the kitchen. And I'll just cut these from the bottom up. And like I said, the dandelion is extremely nutritious, but it's not the easiest thing to eat. I don't think people like putting it in salads and stuff because it's kind of bitter. But you can put it in something like this and it's going to boil down and you're not even going to notice that it's there. So let's check and see how this looks. Looking good. We'll go ahead and get I like cilantro. This is the herb I'm going to use at the very end because it's the lightest of all the leafy greens, so I'm going to use it at the end. This is how I cook the chard. I'm going to take the leaves off of the stem. Because I want to cook these stems with the broccoli. All of this has been washed. So the stems are going to go in with the broccoli. And it's time for me to put that dandelion, both of the green beans and the dandelion are going to go in now to our food. So I'll put the green beans in first. And I'll maybe, I don't even need to stir it. I'm going to put these in on top. These are going to cook down, so you'll barely know that they're in there. So we'll let those steam. And next in line will be our broccoli, our tomatoes, and then our chard, which we can go ahead and get ripped up and ready for action. It's a very easy leaf to just rip with your hands. So why is this good for a yoga practice? Why is it good to eat your main meal at the beginning of the day? And to eat this kind of easily assimilated food? Well, in terms of your yoga practice, you should not be eating late at night. Eating late at night is going to inhibit you from being able to get up early in the morning and make use of those really sacred pre-dawn hours where we can get the most out of our practice and the most out of our meditation. We are far more mystically aware early in the morning time when our local environment is very quiet mentally. Everybody is pretty much asleep. But we can get up and have some really, really special meditation time and make some major advancements in our meditation. So everything is almost ready. I'm just going to cut up this cilantro. Again, I could use my knife or I can use my kitchen scissors. You want to be careful with how much herbs you use. Herbs are like medicine. You don't want to overuse them. If you do, they can actually make you sick. So don't think that if you just herb up and just pile the herbs in that it's a good idea. It's not. Okay, so here we put in the broccoli and the chard stems. Cut this a little bit more. Okay, and then our little cherry tomatoes can go in. This adds some flavor and some color. The color, the aesthetic appearance of this meal is very important to the eater. It provides us with all of the colors the eyes want to see as the food is going into the mouth, and it provides the mouth with the different textures. That's why we cook it in layers. We don't overcook it, so that we can, pull those necessary sensory fulfillment energies out of the food. The eyes are fulfilled, the mouth is fulfilled, and then that's going to cause you to not be craving stuff later on and thinking, oh, I didn't get this, or oh, I didn't get that. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to top her off. What I do about this time before I do that is just check the water level. Make sure I still have enough water in there, which I do. If you didn't, you just add some, a little bit. This is going on top. This is going to cook down too. It always looks really full when these leaves are in their full form. You could put a few grains of salt on the top layer. Look, just a teeny tad. Helps those greens to cook down just a tiny bit. And on top of our chard, we'll just put the herbs. It's cilantro. You could choose whatever herbs you want. Parsley is usually available, and some of those other herbs, but use them lightly, sparingly. We're going to put that on. I'm going to turn it down just a tad. And basically this is done. I'm going to let it boil for a few more, maybe not even a few more minutes, maybe like 2 more minutes. And then this is going to be ready to cool off for a little while. And then it's going to be ready to serve up. So we also eat avocado with this meal, fresh avocado. So I will be cutting this avocado up, and it will go on the plate with the food. It's a wonderful addition to the meal. So this is the Yogi Meal. This is the meal that helps us get control of our digestion, but on a deeper level, it helps us to get control of the taste sense and the appetite. It helps us gain some control over how the tongue manipulates us and how the sense of taste can override your intelligence. The tongue will sacrifice the entire body, the good of the whole body, just to have that experience, just to get that fulfillment. Think about refined sugar. It destroys the body, but the tongue just absolutely loves it and doesn't even care what the body thinks or what the body has to go through. So the sweet factor is important too. So that's why I have these strawberries ready for the end of the meal. And you could also choose like an orange. These have nice, healthy, easy to process natural sugars. So if we're going to do the sugar, we want to try to stick to the fruits and just kind of eat it at the end of the meal, just like you would a dessert. So anyway, I hope that you have enjoyed this cooking process. Hopefully you also think it's easy to do and worthwhile, worth your time, worth the, it's not that big of a deal in terms of the grocery shopping. Even though it's fresh food will keep for a few days. I mean, it's not like you have to go to the grocery store every day. These items will last 3 or 4 days. But even if I do have to go to the grocery store every 3 or 4 days, I spend most of my time in the produce section. If you're not spending most of your time at the grocery store in the produce section, you're doing it wrong. The produce is the only worthwhile food in the store, really. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. I can leave it on the burner. It'll continue to cook for just, you know, another couple of minutes, and then I will remove it from the burner. This is gonna be the plate that I eat on. I'll put my avocado and strawberry over here. And once this has cooled down a little bit, I will show you how I dish it out. Okay, so here is our final product, as you can see here. And I'll just take my big spoon, go way underneath the food, and dish it out onto my plate. I got a little bit of everything there. It looks beautiful, it looks colorful, it smells so good. So, you know, look at that. That's a lot of food. This would be enough, honestly, for like 3 people. You can save it. You can eat a little bit more later on in the day. You could serve it up to friends. Here's our avocado. I am going to cut into our avocado here. And each person will get about half of an avocado. We're serious about this meal. This isn't like some little tiny meal where we're barely eating anything. You know, we're actually getting a substantial meal in our bellies. Even though it's non-bothersome to the belly and it digests easily, then you can just slide your avocado right in there. You could keep the little cup for your fruit, or you could put the fruit right in there. Squirrels love the avocado peels and seeds and stuff, so it's good to have a compost for all of the extra little pieces of food that you have, because somebody outside is going to get some good out of that big time. All right, so this is our meal. I'm ready to eat. I like to eat with a spoon. Some people like to eat with a fork. This is it. You can save this for later. It will keep. And this is your meal. This is your beautiful Kundalini meal. Enjoy. I'm about to. So here's our finished product, a Sattvic meal, great for a serious yoga practice. Eaten early in the day, and don't forget not to eat late at night so that you don't have problems getting up in the morning for your practice and your meditation and this meal. So we'll see you later. I hope you enjoyed cooking with me.